You're watching Sky News Live at 5, and the breaking news this evening: a blazing car has been driven into Glasgow Airport this afternoon. So far, we have no details of any injuries, but Strathclyde police say 3 people have been arrested. Eyewitnesses have described a chaotic scene as a Cherokee 4x4 crashed through the glass front of the airport. Now, there are conflicting reports of exactly how many people were in the car, but emergency services are at the scene, and this picture, which has been sent in, shows just how dramatic that scene is. One person, we think, at this stage has been taken to hospital, and it comes, as you will be aware, just one day after London narrowly escaped potentially massive casualties from 2 car bombs that were found in the Haymarket. Scott Leeson saw the car in Glasgow drive into the airport building.
I was sitting just literally yards from the instant where it happened. I was sitting waiting on a colleague of mine to come out there. Fortunately, he was delayed, and just sitting there. And the airport has got 2 roads. One road is only restricted to taxis and buses, and your number plate is taken, and you can't get through unless your number is recognised by the barrier. At which point, a car, the Cherokee, comes speeding past me about 30 miles an hour in the inside lane. And I thought it was quite strange that he was getting in there, because he's not permitted to go in there. And then what he did is he approached the first door, he swung out to the right of the road so he could get a better angle so that he could hit the door square on, and obviously tried to get right into the door. So he swung out, as you would if you was taking a sharp corner, and then cut back in and cut straight into the terminal door, obviously trying to get right through the door to cause as much damage as possible.
So that was one eyewitness, Scott Leeson. Also, we spoke to James Edgar a short time ago. He was at Glasgow Airport this afternoon, and he described exactly what he saw.
I was in the actual airport building trying to book a holiday, and people were running past us as if they'd lost their flight or whatever. And then suddenly they told us all to get out of the airport. And when we went out the main building, there was a 4x4, as if it had rammed into the building. It was on fire. At that point, everybody was just in a panic, but the police and security were scuffling with an Asian gentleman. They later took him away, but the fire is now out. But as you can imagine, there's absolute chaos at the airport.
So you're saying that you saw what you think was a 4x4 vehicle, and it managed to drive into the terminal building. Is that what you saw?
It tried to break the barrier of the terminal building, but it actually gets stopped from going through the wall. I don't know if it's the barriers or whatever has stopped the Jeep from getting into the main terminal building, but it was very close to a place that held maybe about 200 people just seconds before that.
We understand, James, that it was a Land Rover, so that does fit with your description of a 4x4 vehicle.
Right.
Tell us a little bit more about... You described an Asian gentleman who got out of the vehicle. What did you see?
Well, at the point when we all came out of the airport, the police and the security of Glasgow Airport were grappling with this man on the grounds. He was refusing to move. He was relatively close to the Jeep. He looked as if he had injured leg. When the police eventually got him on his feet, he was struggling to walk. He was probably about 6'5", quite heavy set, but the police have definitely taken him away.
And was there just the one man driving the vehicle? Was there just one person involved?
Well, the police have... Where we were standing right opposite the hotel. There's a hotel, there's a Holiday Inn right opposite the airport. And where I was standing, the police took him right past us. Obviously, the crowd were a bit angry at him, but yeah, they took him away. But it was only one person by the looks of it.
How did he come across? Was he angry? Was he distressed? What was he saying?
There was no emotion on his face. It was very passive. There was no emotion whatsoever. Obviously, the crowd were shouting at him, but he was just looking straight ahead.
And what were the crowd saying?
Well, there was a few things I wouldn't like to repeat on air.
We also understand, again, from reports from holidaymakers such as yourselves who are in the terminal building or certainly nearby, that the vehicle caught on fire. Did you see any sign of that?
Yeah, I mean, my brother-in-law sent the first picture into yourself. I've actually got some more on my phone. It's actually looking right directly onto the scene. The Jeep probably caught fire almost immediately as it hit the main curtain walling of the airport. The emergency services were very quickly on the scene. The car was on fire for probably, about 5 minutes before the emergency services got there.
James Edgar talking to Emma Crosby a short time ago. Well, let's talk now to our Home Affairs correspondent, Mark White, who has the very latest. And, Mark, what are we getting not only from Strathclyde Police, but also from the Metropolitan Police and the way this is being monitored in relation to what happened in London yesterday?
Well, Steve, it's clear we have a very significant incident now unfolding at Glasgow Airport. We've spoken to Downing Street, the Home Office and the Metropolitan Police at New Scotland Yard, and they are monitoring events up in Glasgow with an increasing sense of alarm, not just viewing, of course, the images that are coming out from Sky News viewers, very dramatic images they are, but also listening to these eyewitness reports who are giving really an account of an incident that is looking increasingly like a terrorist attack this evening. Reports of 4 Asian men in that Cherokee Jeep, of one of these men on fire, having to be restrained, knocked over by one passenger before being restrained by the police. Reports as well of someone taking a gas cylinder out of this Cherokee Jeep, and also reports, I should add, of some of the occupants of this vehicle apparently trying to pour substance on the flames, they believe, according to the eyewitnesses, to stoke up the fire and the flames of this vehicle. So because, of course, there's a lot of eyewitnesses, a very busy terminal on the scene quickly, they are giving us these accounts, and they seem to be, at this stage, fairly consistent accounts from all of those that we've been speaking to, and the